All right, so I'm seeing 7 o'clock on my end. Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Paul Aguilera, Vice Chair of the Glendale Neighborhood Council. Screen sharing the agenda here. Seems like it's going to be a pretty packed one, but I'm seeing a handful of people online, so we're starting with a few presentations to talk about the Emerald Ribbon Master Plan. And then we'll be shifting over to another presentation by Chelsea Phillip for the U.S. Forest Service. So we can go ahead and begin there. Is anyone on to talk about the Emerald Ribbon Master Plan? Minerva?
My name is Michaela, and I'm stepping in for the Emerald Ribbon Master Plan today.
Fantastic. I can stop screen sharing in case you want to take over and have information to share.
Perfect. Yeah, I have some quick slides.
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
And then let me know if that pops up okay.
It's showing up on my end. You're good.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for taking some time to hear from me on your agenda tonight. My name is Michaela Maponga. I'm a planner with Salt Lake City Public Lands, and I'm also the project manager for the Emerald Ribbon Action Plan. I believe this is the first time I've gotten the opportunity to chat with you all about this, so I'm just going to go through a little bit of background on this project and then talk about some exciting opportunities we have coming up in the next month. So this project kicked off really in July of 2023, and we had our phase 1, which was really about establishing an understanding of the existing conditions of the Jordan River. And then conducting some preliminary engagement. So I'm going to be providing a quick overview of everything that we accomplished from July to December of last year. And everything I'm about to go over is available on our project website, emeraldribbonplan.com. So our study area, as I mentioned, the Emerald Ribbon Action Plan is covering the entirety of the Jordan River within Salt Lake City's boundaries, so 2100 south to 2100 north. Bounded by Glendale Golf Course, all the way up to the Regional Athletic Complex. So this is a map just looking north, going to the left of the screen. It includes the water trail, so the river itself, the Jordan River Parkway Trail, and then all of the adjacent park spaces. I think in total, this is something like 950 acres of Salt Lake City-owned property. Phase 1 was really about beginning the journey, understanding and assessing the current conditions of the corridor, and beginning on some preliminary engagement to raise awareness of the plan. We're now into phase 2, which is going to be providing kind of the framework for what the plan will look like and starting to present a couple different options to the public about where the future of the river could go. And then in phase 3, we're basically going to bring it all together and come up with one solidified plan with guidelines and recommendations for how the city can move forward. Just as I've already mentioned, we are now kind of nearing the end of phase 2. We've completed our analysis phase, which took up most of last year, and we're now preparing to release our community-informed concepts. This plan is expected to conclude around the end of this year. We have done, we've explored the river in a number of ways. We've walked it, biked it, canoed it. It's 10 miles of corridor again with over, I think almost 24 parks, open spaces, and just areas for stopping and relaxation around, throughout the corridor. We've reached out to people in a couple of ways. We've held stakeholder focus groups as well as some community focused groups. We had 6 focus groups with through the University Neighborhood Partners, who's part of our project team, and they've met with representatives from a Spanish-speaking community group, a Karen group, the Pacific Islander group, and African refugees. We have 2 advisory groups on this project, our technical advisory group and our community advisory group. And we also held a series of 2 public workshops back in November, one being at the Sorensen Unity Center and the other at Northwest Rec Center. And through these different means, we've already spoken with about 350 community members who just again, generally shared their dreams. In this phase, it was really just about getting an understanding of how people feel about the Jordan River today, what their dreams are for the future, and how they feel like it could be better. So based on all these conversations that we've had, really when we think about what the community wants, three main themes emerge. The first is a well-maintained natural and cultural sanctuary. And from this, we're hearing that people just want a clean river. They want it to be clean and beautiful, and they want it to be a place that they feel comfortable and safe going. They want a vibrant community destination. Um, this was more about wanting a lot of things to do throughout the corridor, whether that's in the water, on the trail, or in the park spaces themselves. There's a lot of really great ideas about how this can be really a Main Street corridor for the West Side. And then lastly, a place that fosters long-term multi-generational use. And this really stems from so many people having memories of utilizing the Jordan River as a kid, whether that was visiting with their school or with a library or really just with a family member. A lot of people remember having those memories with family members and want to continue. They want their own kids to be able to have similar memories. The second part, so that was really the kind of an overview of our community engagement. The second part of what we did was a little bit of basically research and data analysis. We developed an existing conditions report. When looking at the past plans and past data for the river, you can really look at it through two different lenses, one being from a nature perspective and the other being the cultural perspective. So where do people play in versus where do nature play in? And then these two lenses are really connected by a framework of care. So we steward and care for the ecological health of the corridor, and then in return, nature engages and sustains human well-being. So through this lens, there were 6 main categories that were looked at for the existing conditions, and these were context, communities, connectivity, capacity, activity, and awareness. So these are the chapters of our existing conditions analysis, which is available online. It's something like 120 pages, but we've also put together this really awesome 2-page snapshot that covers kind of all the really major findings of this report. This snapshot is available in English, Spanish, Samoan, Tongan, and Chinese. And then we also have our community engagement report, our full engagement report available in English and Spanish. So again, please just take a look on our website, emeraldribbonplan.com. We also have a video online that just walks you through the existing conditions to help you understand kind of what we did and what we looked at and how to interpret it. And then just looking forward to what's next. We've developed, based on our previous engagement, a set of guiding principles. And these principles will, again, help provide the framework for the master plan. It'll help every recommendation out of the action plan will help accomplish one of these 5 guiding principles. And these were developed with our community advisory group. So the Emerald Ribbon should celebrate the rich ecological and cultural diversity of the corridor, connect the corridor into surrounding streets, trails, and waterways, cultivate collective care of the corridor, restore and enhance the river ecosystem as a peaceful refuge, and activate the corridor to create a safe and vibrant destination. So when you look at all of these together, they really touch on a lot of those aspects of nature and culture, and then thinking about, again, those cross sections of connectivity, capacity, awareness, activity. So we've developed, based on the feedback we've received, we've developed 3 concepts that reflect the different options for the future of the river. And right now it's like one is very nature themed. It really leans into the natural restoration of the river. One leans into more of the community or the neighborhoods around the river and helping bring out the individual identity of the river, the individual identity of each community along the river. And then the last one is really focused on the trail. So moving into March, we have a really big engagement period. We're going to be launching an online survey that will be open from March 1st to the 31st. And then in addition to that online survey, we're hoping to get people to attend our public workshops. which will be on March 13th and 14th, again at the Sorensen Unity Center on Wednesday, the 13th, and at Mestizo Coffee House on Thursday, the 14th. And here we'll be there with the concepts. We can help people take the survey, and people just have an opportunity to give feedback on these concepts, share what they do and don't like, and that will help compose the final vision for the action plan. Food will be provided, as well as Spanish translation. The workshop is from 4 to 8, and we're probably estimating that people will probably spend about 20 to 30 minutes doing the workshop activities. You can drop by anytime during that period. That's what I have to share. I have time for a little bit of questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Michaela. Any questions?
Hi, Michaela. This is Jenny Erickson. I'm with the council. I was just curious about the open houses that you're going to host. I thought I saw online that that's where people can actually vote on like which theme. Is that kind of the structure of what's going to be happening at those open houses?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Awesome. This is really exciting.
Yeah, and I think one thing that'll be really cool, if you can't make it during these days, following our March 14th workshop, we are actually going to be able to leave our workshop materials there. So at any point in time, you or anyone from the community can go and do those workshop activities. There won't be anyone there to kind of help facilitate, but you can walk yourself through and see all the same materials and participate in the same questions.
Great, thank you. Any other questions?
This is Emily Hamilton from the Salt Lake County Health Department. Have you given this presentation to any of the other community councils along the path of the Jordan River?
So you are actually my first. I will be at all of the other community councils over the next couple of weeks.
Michaela, this is Detective Oliver of the Salt Lake City Police Department. Hey, I'll see you at all those meetings. I'm just curious if you've reached out to any law enforcement entity for a SEP-TED review as well as the criminal prevention through environmental design along the corridor.
We have not yet. It would actually be really great to connect with your team about that.
I would love to. I think I'm the only one certified in Salt Lake City right now, but if you want to, I'll put my email in the chat and then you can send me any links or anything you want me to attend to.
That sounds awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. And the council will make sure we redistribute any material through our channels. So
awesome.
Rest assured, this will get out to the rest of the community who isn't able to make it tonight. Thank you for the presentation.
Yep, our big dates are again, March 1st is going to be the launch of the online survey, and that'll be open all month. And then our workshop dates, the 13th and 14th. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. And next on the agenda, we have the U.S. Forest Service trail. So Chelsea, if you're on. Oh, I see you. I think you're muted.
Great, I am on.
Perfect. Yeah, take it away. If you need to screen share, go right ahead.
Awesome. 1 second. Can you guys see another PowerPoint presentation?
We see it.
Awesome. Well, first, thank you for having me speak tonight. A shout out to Sarah Wolf for inviting me. Big night of planning for everyone. So one more big plan. My name is Chelsea Philippi. I work on the Salt Lake Ranger District of the Forest Service. And we are working very closely with Salt Lake County on our Tri-Canyon Trails draft plan. And to give you an idea where we're looking specifically at what we call the Tri-Canyons. That's Mill Creek Canyon, Big Cottonwood Canyon, and Little Cottonwood Canyon. And to take a step back in time to let you guys know where we've been, We started this plan by getting out in the field and understanding where trails exist, both our Forest Service trails, what conditions they're in, and all those other trails that we call user-created trails that go to all the other places in the forest, but not the trails we maintain and not the trails that we created. So that was step one, getting out there to understand what it looks like. And we also started a trail counter program. Our trail counters emit a little infrared beam. When you walk through it, it emits a count, and we get an understanding of how many people are in how many places instead of just guessing if a place is busy based on like full parking lots. So did that for a couple of seasons. And then we did giant situation assessments, or we called it a listening sessions, where we reached out to 60+ partners and had one-on-one conversations about their values for recreation and their concerns, especially in those 3 canyons. And then we went out to the public and did a handful of other listening sessions and had an opportunity to comment on surveys and maps online for a while. So we've taken all of that information, all of our policy information as a Forest Service, all of our expertise, and we drafted a plan. It's a big picture, more conceptual plan. And that's where we are right now on this picture. We're at number 4. And this is actually like the sneak preview. Our plan doesn't actually come out until next Friday. So I'm going to give you guys the sneak peek, but we'll have a public comment period open for a few months. We'll take the summer to ground truth what we hear, and then we'll release a final plan next winter. We'll have that open for public comment, and then we'll adopt a final plan and start implementation. Okay. So when we did those listening sessions, we heard 3 big things come out loud and clear. People are concerned about the environment. They're concerned about the visitor experience, and they're worried about the kind of infrastructure at different places to support our visitation. So with the environment, we're really worried about protecting our watershed. Both Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons are part of our Salt Lake City watershed that produces the water that we drink in the city. So we're worried about keeping that clean and keeping those ecosystems healthy. And we do that by reducing any impacts we have to the water, wildlife, plants, and scenery. And ways that we think about that at the Forest Service is ways to concentrate visitors on hardened destinations, places where the impacts won't hurt the wildlife or the ecosystem. And then if we think about visitor experience, we want to make sure everyone has the quality experience they're looking for. And this is diverse. Not everyone wants the same experience. So making sure our plan provides opportunities like hiking or a nature walk. You can take your bike out. Where can you walk your dog? Go climbing, fishing. So making sure we're offering what you're looking for. And then making sure we have the infrastructure to support those visits. So that looks like making sure we have parking, bathrooms, signs, so you can get where you're going. So we took these 3 guiding principles and we're going to apply them to a couple focus areas. So these focus areas are trailheads, and we break our trailheads into the major trailheads, the big obvious ones, and that includes the big obvious trailheads at ski resorts. There's a couple of Big and Little. There's White Pine and Cardiff, where a lot of people can visit. And then some smaller ones, and we're calling those minor trailheads. And then the trailheads that you don't even know exist. They're just some roadside parking, and they're calling those primitive. So we're breaking this up because we want to make sure we have different types of opportunities that you're looking for. The next area is the trail network. So we want to make sure there's different types of trails out there. One type of trail is a concentrated use that can handle a lot of visitors, a lot of people, everyone's excited to go the same place. We want to make sure we're offering trails that connect. So you can have a small loop or a big loop, but you get to make those connections. You get to choose your adventure. And then we are looking at those user-created trails that are out there that the Forest Service doesn't manage, which ones we should adopt, make sustainable, make sure they help protect that watershed, and then make it so you can find them and use them. And the third area we're thinking about is our recreation strategies. So what do we want to do if we have user conflicts? Like if we have hikers and bikers that there's too many of them on the same trail, what are neat strategies we can think of to reduce that conflict? We're going to start talking about e-bike opportunities in the forest. Currently, they're not allowed on any of our trails, but we recognize that that's a pretty popular way to travel. So how do we, the Forest Service, and you, the public land owners, want to think about how that gets used in the forest? And then think about new ways for recreation to occur at ski resorts, because those are up top, at the top of all those drainages in the beautiful alpine ecosystems. And then how we might think differently about winter recreation, not necessarily at the ski resorts, but how folks want to come walk in the snow, snowshoe, cross-country ski. So those are some of the big picture things we're thinking about. And for our public comment opportunities, we'll have all sorts of maps with all of these laid out for people to look at, like where we're suggesting we put these connector trails, where we're suggesting we have bigger major trailheads versus the primitive trailheads. So these public meetings, we have set up one for March 4th, March 13th, and March 20th. And these will all be in person. There'll be a lot of us there in our cute Forest Service uniforms, helping you understand what we're proposing, listening to what you think and how that impacts you, and how we could adapt it to be better fitting for you and your family or your friends. And then we are also building an opportunity to comment online. And all of those comment opportunities will be built into maps so you can see exactly where these trailheads are and where these trails are proposed for. So this is a sneak peek. Otherwise, I would love to show you what we have built, but it's just almost done and not quite ready. So we will have this all available at our website, tricanyontrails.org. We'll have all those maps, the online comment opportunity, and then of course, everyone's welcome to attend those meetings. We're also more than happy to come to community events, farmers markets, anywhere where people are to share this information and gather your input. All right, that's what I wanted to share. Any questions, comments?
I can start. First of all, thank you for talking about this at our council. You mentioned earlier e-bike opportunities. I'm wondering sort of like how that's like manifesting itself and like how that's living as an idea. Is it related to natural surface trails or paved trails, or kind of like what have been some of the internal conversations regarding e-bikes?
Yeah, so for right now, all of our dirt trails, which is most of the trails we have in those three canyons, they do not allow any sort of motorized use. And the Forest Service still considers an e-bike a type of motorized use. We have a special class for it. And some of this sounds really complicated because we're trying to use a couple policies to regulate bike use across the Forest Service, across the United States. So we're trying to think of like, in our questions that we want people to comment on is if we suggest these three trails, these three dirt trails for e-bikes, how does that feel? Or does it feel right to see them first at a ski resort that has a bigger road? Or does it feel right to see them on any trail that allows a mountain bike? Or do we not want them on our dirt trails? But where the roads are paved, they are all currently allowed on paved roads, as long as you can like stay safe in traffic up those canyons.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Chelsea? Jenny, I don't know if we're getting any chats on the Facebook side of things.
Nope, not seeing anything.
Okay, well, thank you. Unless I heard something else.
Well, thank you for letting me come and present. I'd be really excited when this opens up and folks can look at a map. We're talking about so many trails, it's just easier to think about it on the land and in that map space. So thank you for walking through this with me.
We appreciate it, Chelsea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. I'm just going to share the agenda here. And in our chat, we do have a hyperlink that will open the agenda on your side. case anyone wants to follow along. Okay, so switching over to our second agenda item with council housekeeping here, we have a board nomination for an at-large member, and I see that Abdrazak is online. So if you can hear us, would you mind unmuting, giving us a quick introduction to who you are and why you're interested in joining the council? And I think you're still muted. Jenny, can we send him a direct chat, please? Abdrazak, if you're able to unmute and give a quick intro, we are conducting an official board nomination for you. And Jenny, if he's having issues, we can come back to this agenda item. I don't know what you're hearing on your end.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to, not sure if he's.
Not coming through. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll just return to that agenda item towards the end. And yeah, take it from there. Okay, agenda item number 3, some organizational updates. We're just going to go down the line here. Oh, I see you unmuted. Can you hear us, Abdrazak?
Yes, I do, but I do hear it. But I don't know, somehow your voice echo, it's really hard to hear, It's like, I don't know, maybe the internet or?
Yeah, it could be, but I can hear you now.
Okay,
So
okay.
I don't know if you heard me before, but we'll just return back to the second agenda item. You have a few minutes to just give us an introduction to who you are, the community and organization you're with, and
Yes.
and why you're interested in joining the council as an at-large member. So take it away.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. First of all, my name is Abdrazak Ibrahim. I came as a refugee here in Utah, especially west side of Salt Lake City, 1998. Most of my life, I've been living in west side of Salt Lake City, especially in Glendale. So I have organization as a non-profit. So my job is working with the refugees and immigrants most of my time. So the reason why I just joined this city council, this is why I enjoy that, because I really live in this part of west side of Salt Lake City, Glendale, since '98. I do really care people, make sure people. I have to speak my own people, also other people. Make sure, for example, brother, right now, since we're living in Glendale, for example, we don't have like high school. Our kids going back to the East High, other places. So like every morning, like close to 300 kids leaving from Glendale to going to the high school. And then that's why we're having issues and difficult, especially the refugees. They don't have a car sometimes. The kids missing the school, and then they're calling me. They're saying that we missed the bus.
Hey, I think you might be cutting in and out. I don't know if that's happening for other people. Hey, Abdrazak, if you can hear me, could you turn off your camera? Hi, so for the last minute, I think you've been cutting in and out. Would you mind turning off your camera and just repeating that if you don't mind? I think we may be having some connection issues. And then we can try it again. Thanks, Emily, for the recommendation. And I don't know if my audio is coming through to you right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not coming through, but I think we can. I think thank you for the introduction. I think we were able to get a good introduction to who you are and why you're interested in joining. If you wouldn't mind, I think I'm gonna mute this just to prevent any back and forth echoing and proceed to having a motion to add Abdrazak to our community council, which would require a second from one of our existing board members. So Jenny, Sarah, if anyone's able to second the motion to have Abdrazak officially on the neighborhood council, we can make that happen.
I second that motion.
Great. Thank you. Well, welcome Abdrazak to the neighborhood council. Hopefully next time we can go through it without experiencing some of the connection issues here. But thank you so much. We're really excited to have you on and add another voice that represents the diversity in our neighborhood. Thank you. Oh, and since Turner isn't on, but he did ask me to relay some information here for this specific agenda item. We still have three, technically two empty at-large positions, a secretary position and a webmaster position that are technically vacant. So if anyone knows if you yourself are interested in joining the council or know of anyone that may be interested in joining our council, we invite them to show up to the next council presentation and either email me or Turner directly, reach out through our website, and we can add that as an agenda piece to the next meeting and get you involved. So thank you for that. Let me share the screen again. And move on with our agenda here. Great. All right, moving on to the community organizational updates. If we're present here, feel free and just jump in. We'll start with NeighborWorks Salt Lake. And I think this is technically Turner's piece. So we might have to route back to that one unless he's online. Turner, are you on? Okay. Neighborhood House. Okay. And any updates from the Sorensen Community Campus? Let me just make sure that someone's not speaking and muted at the same time. Okay. Arts Committee, any updates there?
I don't have any updates right now, Paolo, thanks.
Perfect. And for Transportation Committee, I'll take that. So we're currently developing a active transportation plan for the neighborhood, and sort of the update there is that's going to make it into the hands of Salt Lake City for a review well, a draft report's going to make it into the hands of the city for review, and the end goal is that by the end of the year, there's enough back and forth, more community input solicited to have it be an adopted piece to the existing pedestrian and master plan for the city as an appendix item that would focus specifically to the boundaries of our neighborhood. So that's still underway. That's still something that the council's cleaning up internally. But more to come there, and yeah, we'll have more to share for our next in-person meeting on that. Okay, moving on to the next agenda piece, updates from the city. We can skip to the mayor's office. I don't know if Councilmember Puy isn't going to make it on, but I do have some information to relay. So while I get that ready, mayor's office.
I am here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you for being on.
No, just I was able to jump in on the right time. So thank you everyone for allowing me to jump into your agenda, even though that I thought I couldn't not do it. So let me see. I don't know if you can see me. Okay. So quick updates. Obviously a very busy week. And I wanted to give you an update about a few things. Obviously, the legislature is a lot right now. Bill 562, which is the Major League Baseball bill, just dropped yesterday evening. Very concerned about this bill. It's not very good. It's actually not good at all. It's the opposite of good. And it is very disappointing to see this bill drop, even though that after so many marketing materials that I feel tricked into participating, involving our city, involving elected officials about how this will bring change, investment and activity, and it will lift, all the boats. Completely the opposite. Bill 562 takes all tax revenue from the city on this land, takes all land authority from this land. It takes, it removes all authority whatsoever. It gives, even at the moment, as this bill is drafted, it even doesn't clarify how we're going to pay for police and fire for this new development, which means that we're going to have to probably raise taxes to compensate for this. It's just a horrendous bill. I feel tricked and completely used, and just leaving it out there. A lot of emotions about this. It's a bill that was 162 pages long. And the bill sponsors didn't release one piece of the bill until the last possible minute yesterday evening. So we're still working on it, trying to figure out how to deal with this, trying to work with the sponsor, trying to come up with something that works and fix this bill. That is about the baseball bill. Is Bill 562, House Bill 562. I just wanted to flag another bill, which is Senate Bill 235, which is a train bill, which basically is a good bill. It allows the state to look into trains and to create more tools for safety around trains, for those that work on trains and for the community in general. And this bill, I need your help. I need the community's help to add class 3 train companies. This is very technical, but it basically the bill is saying right now that all of these new things to make the community safer apply to class 1 train companies, which is in this case Union Pacific, but it doesn't apply for any other company that is working in our city. And we have other companies working in our city, and they do quite a bit of the work. So class 3 train companies, very technical, is what we need this bill to expand to. And we, if you feel very strongly about trains and the train crossings and how they block our trains, our crossings. If you can weigh in about adding Class 3 train companies, this is Senate Bill 235, and this is Senator Harper, who's running this bill. It's a good senator, is a great leader in the state. We just want to make sure that it actually impacts for the good in our community. Again, there's a lot of bills coming up right now about funding for homelessness, and we need to find out what the state feels comfortable funding, working very hard. The city is working very hard on this. I am proud of the work that is being done. I also wanted to invite everybody in the community to weigh in about the budget. Salt Lake City budget soon, in May, we're gonna start talking about it. But I need the community's input on the record. So if you can come into our city council meetings or jump in online to tell us about your top priority for the district or for your area, it will help a lot. The next council meeting is March 5th at 7 p.m. We take public comment. So please feel free to come in online or in person and jump in to tell us what you would like to see from the city's budget. One of my priorities this year, and I feel like we are in a good place to make this happen, obviously a lot of negotiation, which will be the Jordan River Police Squadron. So basically having a specific group of police officers, new police officers, or in additional police officers that are working on the Jordan River. And 24/7, they go up and down the river. This is, we believe, a good solution in part to the problems we're seeing. We don't have something like this right now. They will have to have different equipment, but we believe that it's very much needed. I also need your help telling the city that we need things like this, if you feel so. If you don't, I would love to hear your thoughts too. But yeah, that's my invitation. Those are my updates. If you have any questions.
Thank you,
Councilmember
Councilmember.
Puy,
Any questions?
Is there
Go ahead,
anything we
Kyle.
can do at this point to help oppose the first bill you were talking about, 562?
What was the first part of the question?
Is there anything that we can do to help oppose Bill 562 at this point?
Oh God, I don't know where to start with this. To be completely sincere, for some reason I feel used and hurt about all of this. I'm letting the city as a group work on this like we should, with a whole team of lobbyists and incredible people that work for us and make things happen. But I will need your help soon, maybe. If this bill, we are just days away from the legislature to finish. If this doesn't significantly change, we might need to make some noise, because this is as bad as another inland port, but in a different way. But the structure that are creating sets all sorts of bad precedent. There are also, this bill right now, it means that we're going to give them all this money, all this authority, even if baseball doesn't come into town. So if baseball doesn't come into town, they still get the deal, which is all sorts of wrong. So I will hope that through this medium, through the community councils, I can communicate with you about what we think we need. We might need all of us to jump in on the phones and emails and try to make some noise. Our community will have to be very strong about this. We're struggling right now about how this was handled, and all the promises by the Miller Group about their promise to the West Side and the commitment to fairness. Very disappointing so far. I'm looking forward to this being fixed, but yeah, I don't know if I can tell you right now in action to do, but I hope that we can keep connected through the community council or directly through my email and my phone number.
We can contact legislators. Yes, we can always contact our legislators.
Yes, and your legislators, by the way, are, also surprised. We have met Senator Luces Camillo today, spent quite a bit of time walking together through the bill. We're going through the rounds. This is very late. It's just incredible. And this bill was a secret until yesterday in the evening. And we need everybody's help. But yes, you can contact your legislator. We're going to be organizing soon about what the process is if this bill doesn't get amended very quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for council member?
Brother, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Brother Abdulrazak, Alejandro, brother, I know you're working very hard, but always, the good things, you guys, you should do, always you should come back to the community before things happen. So especially, people working, I know, I had a meeting with Senator Luis, our state representative, Angelo Romario, like 2 weeks ago on Taylorsville. So nobody showed up, they came there, we asked people, everybody's busy somehow, but if something come out for actions, we should come together and push and speak and louder, and say this is not the way it's supposed to, because a lot of people will affecting this kind of things.
Yes.
We should work very hard, and make sure not to. So that's the only things I want to say. Anything coming, so we should go back to the community, and the community we tell them, especially by WhatsApp, by Facebook, but especially my community. I work with the WhatsApp group because they don't speak English. Most of them, they're citizens, but I told them by WhatsApp group, and then they will listen and they will come to the office.
Let me tell you this, in the next couple of weeks, I might be needing everybody's help, a few minutes here and there to help us push for some change and to make some noise. I don't want to be sinister and dark, although I'm feeling a little dark these days. And I feel like many people don't care about what we think. And we need to be prepared for that. And we need to show them that we are organized. So I'm hoping to communicate with all of you. I might need your help to make as much noise as we can. And to be sincere, the MLB is not going to want to come here to Salt Lake if the community is pissed. And right now they've been taunting us all together as we are singing Kumbaya and holding hands. And then this bill comes in and it's completely the opposite. So we have a card to hold. And this card is the community might be pissed. And certainly I am. And I can walk you through why this is important to all of us and help you together to, this bill is 160 pages, 62 pages. It's just a monster of a bill. But yes, I might need your help. Thank you for that offer.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Just to keep us on track here, we're moving to the next piece for city updates. We have the mayor's office next. And it's Alicia de Leon, if you're on. Doesn't seem like it. Okay.
Hey,
Next
Paolo.
piece.
I wasn't planning on attending, but I can give you a brief update on the transportation committee if you'd like. Throw me in whenever you'd like.
Oh, feel free to just jump in right now. You're good.
Okay, I wasn't planning on attending, but since I'm here,
thanks for being here.
Yes, and I would love to connect with you one-on-one directly so we can talk about transportation issues. Thanks everyone for having me. I'm a planner at Salt Lake City. I'm working specifically on community outreach and civic engagement for the Livable Streets program. It is a new traffic calming program for local streets in Salt Lake City. Local streets being your neighborhood streets. These are not going to be collectors and arterials. They're roads that have speed limits of 30 miles an hour or less and 3 or fewer vehicle travel lanes. So likely the street that you live on. And traffic calming is just ways that we can help encourage drivers to drive more safely, follow the speed limits. But it also encompasses a whole different range of things like improving crosswalks, making it safer to cross the street, making it safer to ride a bike, all that kind of stuff. So I will drop a link into the chat Right now, we have a citywide survey. It will be up in perpetuity for as long as this program is around. So anytime you feel like leaving a comment, you can you can take that survey. You can reach out to us via email, or we also have a voicemail. We'd also love to meet with you one-on-one and have a more in-depth discussion. Basically, the gist of it is that the city was divided into 113 different zones. We prioritized them based on data with crashes and socioeconomic data, all kinds of stuff. And a couple of the upcoming zones are in Glendale, I believe 12 and 15. Right now, we're working on the first 9 zones, as this is a new program. But within the next year, I expect we'll be in Glendale. And also, if you want to connect with me directly, I would love to learn more about how we can better engage with Glendale residents, what specifically works for the residents of your neighborhood, whether it's meeting at churches, schools, libraries, that kind of things. We've been having trouble, reaching the communities that we really need to. So any questions? There's lots of transportation projects happening all around towns, and I might know about a few of them.
Thank you for being here. I definitely want to connect with you offline and keep these conversations going, especially as it relates to garnering public input. So we'll definitely keep those channels of communication open, and we'll redistribute survey links through our channels.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hey,
and thank you. Yeah, we see your email in the chat there. Before we move on to police and fire updates, I'm just going to turn it back to Turner to give a few updates on some previous agenda pieces.
Thanks. I just wanted to give a real quick update on neighborhood caucuses. They're coming up. I have to jump off again in the next 5 minutes, so I'm sorry for jumping in mid-agenda. But the neighborhood caucuses are coming up. The caucuses are a chance for folks to participate in either political party. Both the Democrats and the Republican Party host caucuses each year, and at the caucuses, delegates and precinct officers are elected. And if you're not familiar with this process, precinct officers help organize their political party at the most local level here in the neighborhood. So helping register voters, helping turn those voters out. And then delegates that are elected get to participate in party conventions. And those conventions help nominate candidates. So, for example, here in the Glendale area, the Salt Lake County Council has a contested race. So the Democrats will be picking between 3 different candidates. At the congressional and statewide level, there are multiple candidates running for governor, attorney general, a variety of different positions. And as a delegate, regardless of the party, you have an opportunity to select that party's candidates. So I wanted to come and invite folks. The caucuses are March 5th at 6 p.m. The Democratic caucus for our district, for Glendale and Poplar Grove, which is House District 25, is going to be held at the Glendale Library at 6 p.m. on March 5th. And you can look up the location. I'm not familiar with where the Republican one is being held off the top of my head, but you can look that up on the Utah Republican Party's website. So I wanted to call and extend that invitation since we won't have another meeting before the caucuses are held. And we will post information on our website about the caucuses. So you can come to our website and also find that information. But regardless of the political party that you belong to, I would highly encourage everyone in our neighborhood to get involved and to elevate your voice and to participate in our democracy at the most local levels. So again, the Democratic caucus, 6 p.m. at March 5th, and then Republican one on same time, same date. I just do not know the location off the top of my head, but thanks for letting me butt in.
Thank you, Turner. Any questions for Turner? And if not, we can move on to the police updates.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. There's just a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. My computer's not working, and I would share my screen, but we've since opened a new crime dashboard on the Salt Lake City Police Department website under open data, and you can narrow it down now to community council areas. So if you wanted to pull those up, you're more than welcome to, and those are the numbers that I'll present each month. There is still some hiccups because it's pretty brand new. So if you click a couple different community council districts, the numbers might be skewed a little bit. But if you just focus on the one community council district, it should work. And like I said, if there are some hiccups. So it's eventually going to be live feed, so it'll be up to date daily. Right now, it's going to be monthly, but I'll just go over a couple of those numbers real quick. The only thing that we saw an increase in violent crime this month was aggravated assaults, both domestic and non-domestic. So we were up actually 2 of those this month. So we had a total of 9 violent crimes in the Glendale Community Council area. 5 of those were aggravated assault, 3 were domestic violent assault, and we had 1 robbery. So and then our non-violent crimes, our property offenses, we've had 12 vehicle burglaries, 28 larcenies, 10 motor vehicle thefts, and 6 burglaries of outbuildings. So our numbers total are 56 for this month, compared for a grand total of 65. So violent offenses and property offenses are 65. Now that's down 53% from a 3-year average. We're normally averaging about 118. So that's a positive drop in crime right now. Year to date, we are also down. Year to date for the past, it's the same time this year as last year. We're also down 28% in total crime. So that's a positive thing for Glendale Community Council area. So that's kind of looking up in that sense. But are there any questions or concerns that anybody has?
I don't think so, but maybe I'll screen share what the link just to kind of give everyone an idea of what it is.
Yeah, be awesome. And then if
Okay,
you just so just click the continue. It kind of goes through a keep going and end, and then it's going to pop up the numbers. And if you go over to the left, you'll see select area, and then you can click on the left lower section, community council. You can click that and then find the community council. So you can it breaks it down a whole lot better than it used to in the past, which is fantastic. It's brand new, so there might be some hiccups, but our numbers are still going to be consistent. And then the top portion gives you your selected months. So January is the first month this has been live. So those are our January numbers. And then year-to-date numbers are the next ones. If you want to compare it by month, you can see down below that our 145 for total crimes, or the 153 for total crimes was in 2021. That's by far our high year. And then we've just been consistently going back down since 2021. And as I get more control or I understand this, it'll be easier for me to present it as well. But yeah, it's a great source to look at, and hopefully we'll use it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, well, that's available for everyone there in the chat. Any questions for Detective Oliver?
Emily Hamilton, Salt Lake County Health Department. Does that show when we get on there ways to show substance use infractions?
So that would be under our nonviolent crime, and I don't think it shows our extended comp stat report yet. I think eventually it will, but that would be under our extended comp stat. You can see that if you go to the comp stat report in the open data, same place. You can find the weekly, and then there should be a link to the extended version. If I find that, I'll send that in the link, or I'll send that in the chat.
That would be great. And I sent you a private email, so if you maybe want to even send it that way too, that'd be great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Emily. If there are no further questions, we can go to the fire updates, if they're on. Okay. And last on the agenda, state official updates. So if present, Representative Angela Romero, Senator Luz Escamilla, Senator Jen Plum. This may be a short meeting, but if you're on and want to give state updates, now's the time. Okay. Jenny, are there any outstanding questions from the Facebook chat that need to be answered?
Nope, I'm not seeing any.
Great. Well, I think we can end this a little earlier at the hour. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, we can adjourn the meeting and we'll see everyone online in March.
Thanks, Paolo.
Yeah, thank you all. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Take care.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good night.